This explains why Bob's Burgers season 13 has been crap, okay? Because Disney owns it now. That explains why an episode, what was it, season 12, the season finale, the two-parter episode, that Tina was all hung up on a horse shirt, and Bob was upset that somebody called him poop. Bob's is poop. Yeah, are they not allowed to curse anymore? Like, Family Guy's still a thing. Like, I know they freaking fixed all something up with Family Guy. Like, I know that they're not Family Guy anymore, like the way they were before. So, I guess they've toned down the cussing. They've toned down so many things. And anytime Disney gets its little paws on something, it ruins it. I can't watch any of the Disney movies anymore. Can't watch Star Wars because they ruined it. I wanted Finn to be the Jedi. Rey, I'm sorry. Her actress is terrible. I don't know why. I just disliked her so much. I'm like, ew, Rey. Ugh. Like, it was so obvious in the film that Finn was strong with the Force. He chose to be a deserter stormtrooper. That would have been an epic tale. But no, we got Rey, and she's a Palpatine, Skywalker, whatever she is, because I don't even care, because I never even followed it after the second or third movie that Disney made. Ugh. They just want to get their hands on as much stuff as possible so that they can get as much money as possible with the least amount of effort as possible. And I'm sick of it. I'm so damn sick of it. I can't believe they own it. This is ridiculous that they own it, guys. And that's why that is why. Wow. What? No, really? Tina Belcher, a Disney princess, after several months, is like, what? A new partnership. Tina Belcher, okay. The new partner brings a new addition to the princess family. Tina Belcher of Bob's Burgers. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. Wow. Well, yeah, no, this is, I hate Disney Bob's Burgers. That's what it is. I knew something was different, something was wrong, and then I was like, wait a minute. This smells like Disney. It smells like political BS. It smells like Disney. Somebody child friendly this show, and I don't like it. Like, the show is not known for that. They are totally messing up the show. Anytime Disney gets their hands on anything, they ruin it. Ah, get me started on it, man. Like, please ruin your own franchises. Go deal with that, please. But no, they gotta get their paws on something that I liked. Yeah, season 12, what is it? The last two seasons of the series was just terrible. I hated it. Didn't feel like Bob's Burgers. So I guess a better question would be to ask Google when freaking Disney started owning it. So yeah, let's see. When did Disney get their hands on own Bob's Burgers? I want to know. When did that happen? When did it happen? Tell me. It's like, yeah, owned by it when? I hate it. I hate it. Inquire this, but now Fox will share its profits and it will have rights in the future. Oh, what? Who owns the Bob's Burgers movies? Wow. Nah, I honestly hate it. It was horrible, yeah. The movie was horrible. So any spoilers, just telling you now, telling you right now, spoilers for the movie because I watched it and it was terrible. Yeah, okay, so the movie was terrible, and let me tell you why the movie was terrible. Because it felt more like a season finale than it did a movie, okay? And the characters didn't feel like themselves. Like, Louise just didn't feel like herself. Like, she cared about what the other kids thought, and that's usually not what Louise does. She doesn't usually care. So the fact that she cared, that she wanted to be cool for the other kids, kind of like pissed me off the whole movie. I was like, okay, she literally doesn't care. Like, they called her a wuss, and she's like, I'm not a wuss. But you know how it is when she gets challenged. So it kind of tracked, but it kind of didn't. But the point is, they're ruining the show. Freaking Disney's ruining it. And oh yeah, like the fish odors had a major role in the movie. Like, look, they've been using the fish odors way too much. Like, I don't know if they're a fan favorite or what. I could deal with not dealing with Teddy and the fish odors every episode, okay? It's like they appear all the time. Let's not forget that the Calvin fish odor literally drags Bob away from his family during holidays, some episodes. What was it? He was literally like, hey, you, Bob, I need you for something. Let's go. And he's like, but it's like Christmas. And he's like, yeah, you can spend time with him later. You and me now, let's go. And they were like, he kept saying no, so he was like, free rent. You get 5 months, you get 3 months of rent. I don't care. Just take it. And so he was like, oh, that's good. It's good. It's almost like actual money or whatever. And then he did it again for a Thanksgiving episode. So I just don't like how they've been using them. In the movie, they used them, and it was like somebody was trying to frame both of the brothers for a murder that happened some time ago. And we saw this character before, the guy in the pink suit that's like their cousin slash lawyer. And he ends up being the person who hid it or tried to frame them, whatever. Like, it was dumb. Like, you could see it coming a mile away. You're like, look, we only seen this character every once in a while. We know it's not going to be any of the other characters. Like, come on, really? It just felt very... it felt so bland and safe. Like, they were not taking any risks. They were just like, here, it's Bob's Burgers. They started singing, so that's something you guys like, right? And you're just like, no. It's like, this could have been done in literally one episode or 2 episodes, because the movie is like 40 minutes long or something like that. Like, it's not even a full-length movie. And they try to drag it out. Actually, let me go look that up before, I start talking about that. Bob's Burgers movie length. Yes, please. Tell me. Oh, it's 142 minutes. It felt so much longer than that. It really did. It did not feel like an hour and 42 minutes. It was a task to actually sit and watch it. It was pretty terrible. I hated it. To be honest. Like, I didn't hate the movie itself. I hated that it could have been told in such a short amount of time. Like, I'm like, dude, you didn't need an hour for this movie. Could have been told in less time. Because it felt, like, even though it felt like a lot of it dragged on, it also felt very short, because they had so much space where it was just like dead time, where it was like dead air, and I'm like, so nothing's happening right now? That's what's happening. Cool. And like I said, using the fish odor so much, it actually works against them, because we've seen them so often. We're like, great, we know something's going to happen, and it's going to star the 2 of these idiots. Like, they're good in small dosages. Like the running of the turkeys episode, it was good that they were only showed up as the people who made the event because it was happening in Wonder Wharf. Like, that made sense. They only showed up like a few times in that episode, and I was fine with that. Or like that one season where they used them in such a dramatic way where, what's his name? Felix tried to kill Calvin and Bob and tie them to a pier and drown them as the tide came in. Like, they use them in such major ways that it's hard to not, like, it's hard for me not to expect something when they show up on the screen. And so when nothing happens when they're in an episode, I'm like, oh, thank God, I didn't want to have to deal with that. Because it's always very dramatic or extreme with them. Like that episode where Bob was helping him with the Christmas stuff for the gingerbread house, right? Everybody pulled guns on each other, and Bob was like freaking out. I was like, I'm so done with all of this. Why is it every time they're there, something dramatic happens? I mean, if anything, like, Sergeant Bosco is, he's interesting, but at least they don't use him like they do the fish odors. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mickey's an enjoyable character. I do like that they use him the right amount. Like, I don't like how often they've been using him, or Teddy for that matter. Like, every episode he shows up, he's eating at the restaurant. It's like, doesn't he have a job? Shouldn't he be fixing something? Why is he always here? Like, I kind of get Mort's always there, because, he has probably the most business on Saturdays and Sundays. That's when people have funerals, when everybody can make it, not in the middle of the week. So it makes sense that he would have dead time. He's like, oh, hey, I'm going to go stop by the restaurant. I'm going to go have a bite to eat. Go say hi to my neighbors, And don't even get me started on Jimmy Jr. God have mercy. I am so sick of that kid. Ugh. Like, they've used him for so much for so long. Like, I get it. I know that who voices him? I'm pretty sure the person who voices Bob voices Jimmy Jr. too. I'm pretty sure. Voice actor Jimmy Jr. Yep, go. Yeah, let's see. And then he also voices friggin' Bob. Do you see that? So I am up to my eyeballs with him, okay? I just don't care. What is this? Oh, yeah, let's not get into politics. I'm gonna ignore that for now because, hoof. Okay? Because hoof. Because it shouldn't matter. They're too about politics, and I just don't enjoy that either. Everybody, we gotta be politically correct because we don't want our business to fail. But anyway, so, like, he's voiced by the same person. Like, I don't know why, it bothers me to hear Jimmy Jr. and be like, oh, great, now we're gonna have to deal with him. Like, I could just deal with, like, a lot less of him. And if Tina's supposedly in the 9th grade, why isn't she in high school? Why is she still there with her brother and sister at Wagstaff? I mean, Logan clearly goes to a high school. Unless they have different grades and everybody's there at the same, supposedly a 9th grader now. So why haven't we seen her, like, in a high school? And make, I don't know, new friends and have new characters around? Like, that would be kind of nice. Because for high school, sometimes they have a bigger group of kids because, they had to have all of them in the same age group together and the zoning and all that stuff. But anyway, like, the point is, I'm sick of him. Would love it if, I don't know, him and his dad moved away and we only saw him in phone call conversations that he has with Zeke. Like, that seems like that would be alright with me, you know what I mean? But yeah, Disney got their freaking mitts on it. It's bothering me, man. It's bothering me because they don't know what they're doing with anything. They're just like, we can't have them say shit. So say Bob is poop. Yeah, have them be upset about that for 2 episodes. And I'm like, seriously? Really? This is what Disney has decided. Alright, cool. Jeez. It's getting ridiculous. Right, the same show that had Linda show her breasts on TV to save her family, and mitts on it, and they're ruining it, Like, this show is known for pushing the envelope, and Disney's like, no, we're gonna put the envelope in a steel case, we're gonna put a lock on it, we're gonna put it in a closet, and you are only gonna do child-friendly, safe things. Only safe words. You have to say poop, not shit. Like, it's like they're getting, crash course in what not to do because they're part of the Disney family now. It's like, you can't be wild and crazy anymore, and she can't be a little psychopath, okay? Like the same one that nearly tore off a kid's ears, because they took her hat, her bunny ears, like, come on, man. So, what I really wish is that Bob's Burgers would end, that somehow it flops and Disney gets no more money and they just end the show, because that would be the best thing to do for the show than have Disney continue to ruin it the way they have been. Like I said, 2 episodes were completely boring, in my previous video. I'm not going to talk about them again, but those are not the only episodes that were boring, okay? Like, the show has been lacking. Season 12 was okay at best. And like I said, the movie was a disappointment. I was like, wow, this could have been told in 30 minutes. Why did I need to sit here for an hour and 40 minutes for this? Like, really? It wasn't even enjoyable to watch. Like, it felt kind of like watching a dumbed down version of the show. Like, I felt like I was watching Bob's Burgers if toddlers were the ones telling the story. Like, that's what I felt like. I was like, what? So it was like they dumbed it down so that people who don't usually watch the show would understand the show. And I was just like, I didn't like it. I was like, okay, look, man, I don't need you treating me like I'm stupid, okay? Like, Disney, I would love to go up there, smack you inside that stupid big head of yours. Like, I didn't like it. It felt so basic. It felt very... I can't even find the word for how it felt when I watched the movie. It just didn't feel genuine. It felt very commercialized. Aha! Commercialized. It had none of the Bob's Burgers flair and lovability, and, like, it had nothing in the movie that made me want to watch it again. Like, I watched it once, I was like, yeah, okay, I watched it. That's fine. It doesn't make me want to watch it again because it's predictable. It was boring. The only thing that we kind of got was a little bit of lore that Bob's mother, again, spoilers, wore a pink hat, and that's how they got an idea to make one for Louise when she wanted to go to, what was it, kindergarten, pre-K, like grade school. She started going to grade school, and she was being so good and so tough about it. And in the movie, it's a whole thing where she's like, well, I'm not a big baby. Like, it's, like I said, boring, stupid. I mean, go watch it if you wanna, but it is only worth one watch, okay? Nothing in it. None of the songs were even good and memorable. Like, I don't remember any of the songs. And that's usually very hard. Like, I still remember some of the songs for, what was it? It was season 9. She's a business monster. She's a business monster. Making units and making bank. She's a business monster. She's a business monster. Her new office is super swank. Like, that was memorable. Or the Boys for Now songs. It's like, I love you so much, it's scary. Like, some of those are really funny. Or, what was it? What was the other one? Like, there's another one that I remember, and I'm just like, that song's hilarious. I can't remember it right now, but it's pretty funny. Or, was it? Just like, it normally has songs where you don't remember it. I mean, where you don't forget it. Like, but this movie had songs where I didn't remember any of them, and none of them were memorable, and I just, like, didn't like it. I was like, alright, yeah, you filled your quota, you made them sing, yay, yay. So, or what was it, like, there's just some songs that are just so memorable, you're like, yeah, that was hilarious, that was good. Like, the song that Gene sung with Courtney on the morning announcements, that one was funny. It's like, sometimes the one you like, tells you to take a hike. He's like, that one didn't mean anything. And Courtney's like, well, it is Valentine's Day. And I'm just like, oh, it was cute and sweet and whatever, you know? But yeah, that business, she's a business monster, freaking stays in my head all the time. It lives rent-free in my head, guys. It lives rent-free there because it's just, every time I think about it, too, I do Tina's little dance at the end. It's not even funny. I just started doing it. I'm like, what am I doing? This, like, the song takes over, man. Or, like, that whole, what was it, the slug cards that they have? I forgot the name. It's not Slugjamon, it's Slug something. But anyway, like, that song at the end, so you gotta do what it takes to beat the other guy. Like, it was so funny. They were making fun of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, but they weren't. It was kind of hilarious. Even Tina goes, isn't it? So it's like Pokemon, but with slugs. And... It's just funny, you know? She's a business monster. She's a business monster. pushing units and making bank. It's like, I can't, now I have the song stuck in my head. Do you see how that was from season 9? Before Disney got their freaking mitts on it, man. Like, I just hope whatever the show looks like in the future, that it either ends or, like, people ignore it, because Disney needs to know that the way they are changing the show is not right. We know what the show's supposed to look like. Just because you took over and you bought freaking 20th Century Fox doesn't mean you have the right to ruin my shows. Okay? Like, we gotta vote with our wallets, guys. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, nobody pay for anything. Don't you get Disney Plus. Don't you do it. Like, pirate. Make them... I'm kidding.